Continue. If one question concerns Torah law, so it's next paragraph, and the other in interpretation of the verses of the Torah, attention is paid to the question concerning the Torah law. If one question concerns the interpretation of the verses of the Torah, and the other Aggadah, attention is paid to the question that concerns interpretation of the verses of the Torah. Very interesting. So let's read it one more time, and we're going to explain it. If one question concerns Torah law, right? Okay, meaning what to do? Is it kosher, not kosher? Like yesterday, can I wear a hat, not wear a hat? So very practical questions, right? Torah law and other interpretation of the verses of the Torah. Interpretation of the verses of the Torah. So I don't know what. We also had this question yesterday, before yesterday, about I don't know about the ark, like how they did animals gather. Did Noah had to bring them in, or did not? They came on their own, like stuff like that. So it's interpretation of the Torah verses. So is it going to affect the person's life? Not, not as much. But so you have to open. You have to answer this question on the Torah law. Okay. Not even though the person asking you a question about on a written Torah. So, but we give a precedence to the question that is asked on an oral Torah. So we have to understand what's going on here, right? So attention is paid to the question which concern Torah law. 67. Since the question of Torah law, while not necessarily immediately relevant to actual deed, provide guidelines regarding our future behavior. In a contrast, the interpretation of the Torah verses is more abstract realm of the study, further removed from immediate behavior. Okay, so it's very interesting. So he said, I think it's brilliant comment. So he said about the Torah law, for example, even if it does not apply to a person today, right? So like immediately, right? So for example, somebody is not married, let's say, and he's asking about family purity questions, all of the marriage questions about kids, how to raise kids, all of these things, right? So even though it does not apply to him right now, maybe it's going to apply in a year from now. Maybe he's going to get married in 2 weeks from now, right? So even though it's in some sense a person might think that it's not practical for that person, but since it's an oral Torah, so we have to give this precedence, right? And all of others about parasha. So I mean, we don't want to lower the written Torah, Chas v'Shalom, but all of these questions are abstract, and if you see that there is the different explanation, different midrashim, it's very, very interesting, right? What it says there, and we must know what it says there, right? Every story in the Torah that people ask you have to have at least the basic understanding, at least like basic understanding Rashi, what it says there. Even though Rashi is not always so basic, but still. Continue. If one question concerning interpretation of the verses of the Torah, and the other Aggadah, attention paid to the questions concerning the interpretation of the Torah verses. Okay. So what is Aggadah commentary? The ethical and metaphysical realms of the teachings. So Aggadah it's a medrash. It's like a story behind the story. So for example, the Torah would say after these things, and the story goes. And after what things? That's how the story starts with Yitzchak, with other story after these things, and Medrash goes on and actually put all of the details, right, that written Torah skipped. So it's I think everybody have to read Medrash. There's a beautiful medrash. I just finished class like 10 minutes before this one. So we're actually doing Novi, and we're doing Me'am Loyas. It's unbelievable how deep he goes, and it's like easy reading and very, very, very interesting. So, and I think he has commentary on all of the written Torah. I'm not sure if all, maybe something is missing, but Me'am Loyas, it's a yellow cover, very interesting. Okay, so but still, if somebody would have question on this medrash, which is holy, of course, and somebody have a question like on a written Torah, right? Or like on Rashi, Rambam on commentary. So you must answer that first, right? And only after that there is Aggadah. Okay. So commentary. Though they are somewhat removed from being practical guidelines for a behavior, the former are still in a category of Halachah. The aspect of the Torah study that is related to deed and action. Hence, it is given precedence over Aggadah, whose lessons are more personal and require greater effort to internalize. So it's very, very interesting commentary. I mean, Rambam is very clear, but this commentary, I think, add a lot. So let me read one more time and I'm going to explain. Very interesting. Though they are somewhat removed from being practical guidelines, right? So, meaning, as we said before, written Torah and Aggadah, Midrashim, they're not very practical. I mean, how does it apply what Abraham, how old Abraham did and what he said to his servant Eliezer and his relations with Sarah? I mean, okay, right? How is it practical? But for behavior, the former is still in a category of Halachah as an aspect of the Torah study that is related deed and action. So we have a separate Halachah to learn Torah. So when we say to learn Torah is first of all this Chumash, right? Study and related deeds and actions. Okay. So and some things like if you read Rashi, so he would explain that's why we do this and this, right? So still you get some halacha out of that from the commentary, of course. Hence, it is given precedence over Aggadah, whose lessons are more personal and require greater effort to internalize. So some things in Aggadah would seem like exaggerations, right? And it's not exaggerate, and it's not so simple to understand. Even though you understand all of the words that they said were said, I give you examples. So we have in this class that finished just 10 minutes ago, 10 minutes before this class. So we're learning their Kings 2, right? Kings 2, and it was if somebody learned it, it was a story about Yeravam, right? And his son gets sick. Yeravam is from Northern Kingdom, wicked kingdom, and he's the first to start worshiping idols, and he sent his wife to prophet in Jerusalem, or not Jerusalem, at least to the southern kingdom, right? Ahia, right? Ahia was his name, to ask what would be of his son, what would happen, like is he's going to recover, he's not going to recover, and the Medrash says that Ahia was blind, right? So Ahia was blind, and why was he blind? So the question, why was he blind? Because he had this bad student as Yeravam. And it says there, and same with Yitzchak, right? At the end of the days, I mean, of course, Ahia was not a youngster. He was, I'm not sure how old he was, but looks like from the story, elderly person, right? And it says that about Yitzchak, so he got blind. he got blind in his old age, right? Why? Because he had the son as Esau. Of course, Rashi gives explanation because one of the explanation that the wives of the Esau would burn the frankincense to the idols, and this smoke would go to his eyes. Another explanation was that angel were crying when he was during Aggadah. So some of these tears went to his eyes. He got blind. Okay, but that's not what Medrash says. So Medrash says, says, since this Ahia had a wicked disciple student, so he was punished, and same with Yitzchak. So he got punished because he had this wicked son Esau, right? So and that's it, right? And then they can continue with narration. So of course we had discussion. So somebody from class asked how come and this and that. I'm not going to repeat this discussion, but I just want to bring out the point. So it's not some things in Aggadah. It's not so simple. It's even if you know the story. Okay, yeah. It says that he got blind because he had this bad disciple that started worshiping idols, whose name was Yerovam, and he became the king. Like, okay, it's very simple information, but sometimes it's so deep, like it does not make sense unless you go deeper and deeper. You understand? So it's easier. So one of the explanation of what we just said, easier to answer the question on written Torah, straightforward answer. Then go to Aggadah. They say it's personal. How do they say? One second. How do they say? So Aggadah, whose lessons are more personal and require greater effort to internalize. So how this teacher is responsible for his students, like the student was, I'm not sure how old he was, maybe in his 50s, 60, I'm not sure. So meaning very interesting. Okay, so continue. So Aggadah is not so simple. They say no, it's only Medrash. It's very, very deep.